Today, you'll learn the expression, keep your options open. Hi everyone, it's Jeff, and this is Plain English for Thursday, January 8th, 2026. 2026, I have to get used to saying that. Here at Plain English, we help you improve your English with stories. This is episode 828 of Plain English. You'll find the full lesson and practice for this episode at plainenglish.com/828. Here in the podcast, we'll be reintroducing some of the expressions episodes we've created before. Today's is keep your options open. We first used this expression in a story from 2021. We were talking about Carnival, the famous Brazilian celebration, which was canceled that year. And I said that individual samba schools didn't know what to do, but they were keeping their options open. So now you're ready to learn what it means to keep your options open. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. Today's expression is to keep your options open. When you keep your options open, you have not yet made a final decision. You have a choice to make, and you have not yet declared your official final choice. In this way, you still have options. You have not restricted your own choice. Think back to how you heard it earlier. The samba schools, the samba organizations usually compete in the Sambadrome in front of an official panel of parade judges. That event has been canceled, officially postponed, but probably canceled. What might the samba schools do? They might decide not to perform at all. That's certainly one option. They might decide to perform out on the street if the city allows it, or even if the city does not officially allow it. They might go to a less populated area, perform there, and invite the media to film it. They might try to rent out a big location and invite spectators to watch in a socially distanced fashion. These are all options. Some are more likely than others, but they are all options. And the samba schools are not saying right now what they are going to do. They are keeping their options open. They are not committing themselves to choosing just one of the options now. It's October 2020. Carnival would be in February 2021. So there are still 3 to 4 months before the traditional carnival time. The samba schools don't know what is going to happen between now and then, and they will probably get together to try to plan something. In the meantime, they don't want to officially eliminate any of the options, so they are keeping their options open. We talked about the difficulty that live music venues are having in these tough times. I read about the owner of a live music club that recently offered his building for sale. But that doesn't mean he's closing forever. He told a newspaper that he's keeping his options open. Maybe he'll sell the building, but he's not 100% sure. Maybe he'll sell the building, but look to rent it back from the new owner. That could buy him some time. Or maybe he'll close and look for a cheaper place in a few years. Or guess what? Maybe he won't sell the building after all. All he did was offer it for sale. He's keeping his options open. He has several options, and he's not committing to one just yet. I've been talking to some friends around Chicago, and many people are starting to think about doing some kind of travel in the spring or summer next year. But they don't know exactly what they'll want to do. Will a beach vacation be okay? How about traveling to big cities? We don't really know yet what things will be like. My friends are keeping their options open. They're starting to look at destinations, but not making any solid plans. Airlines and hotels are helping consumers keep their options open. You can now book a flight and change it without a penalty. This lets you make a reservation, but also keep your options open at the same time. The winter holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, are big travel days in America. But I suspect a lot of people are keeping their options open for holiday travel. They may stay home, have smaller gatherings, or carry on as usual. I think a lot of people are keeping their options open. Sometimes when you say, "I'm keeping my options open," you want to make someone else nervous. You don't want to reveal what your options are. You might even want the other person or the other side to fear the worst. It's a negotiating tactic. In our update episode last week, we talked about the poisoning of the Russian activist Alexei Navalny. I mentioned that Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, was running out of patience with Russia's geopolitical bad behavior. This poisoning, if in fact it is true, would violate an international treaty on chemical weapons. As of the time I'm recording this lesson, Germany has not decided what type of sanctions or punishment it might impose on Russia in retaliation. They have not even said what sanctions or punishment they are considering. They are saying that they are keeping their options open. By saying that they are keeping their options open, they are not revealing their options, but they are saying that they have not eliminated any options. They are keeping their options open. So there you go. Keep your options open. A lot of those examples were from the COVID era. When things are changing quickly, like they were doing back then, it's good to keep your options open. You can explore this expression and get some practice using it at plainenglish.com/828. We'll be back on Monday with a new story. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.